Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
It is SumDumGuy, and welcome to episode 40 of SumDumWatch, celebrating 40 weeks of watching dumbly. This, of course, is my weekly series chronicling what I have watched from my physical media library and any theatrical attendances I keep doing that, attend for the relevant week. This week's episode will cover June 30th through July 6th. Let's get rolling. First and foremost, I watched for the first time, very interesting film. This is Iron Sky, The Coming Race. There goes Sugar. Say hello on your way out, or your way in, or while you're watching, whatever works for you. Yeah, so we've got Hitler riding a dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex. That says enough. It is the sequel to Iron Sky, which I covered in a SumDumWatch episode not too many weeks ago. Went to try to watch the part 2 in my 2-pack. Would not play in any of 3 players I tried it in, so I had to go and hunt down a separate copy of the film so that I could replace the defective disc. Now I've watched those. This is a very bizarre pairing of films, and I had no idea where a sequel would go. I didn't read any of the synopsis on either of them. I can't tell you anything without spoiling it. The general premise of the film, starting out with, you have a Nazi base on the dark side of the moon. The Nazis have been hiding and living on the moon in secret since the end of World War II. We jump into something of a modern age, and that base is uncovered, so the Nazis decide it's time to return to Earth and reclaim it, begin an invasion. War ensues, other comedic hilarities ensue, and opens up a huge Pandora's box of, "Wah!" And then the sequel decides to go, "Oh yeah, wah, hold my beer." And so it does. Weird.
Weird.
Next up, speaking of weird.
Weird.
The world's very first Swissploitation film. This was a crowd-funded film from Raven Banner called Mad Heidi. Had a very, very limited theatrical release. My local theater showed once, and that was it. You just messed with the wrong Heidi. This is a very wackier version of a Tarantino film, almost. Taking the original folklorish, whatever, Heidi tale, and bringing it into a modern era with a fascist spin on it, involving a fascist dictator type government in Switzerland and the cheese industry. You like Tarantino, you like some crazy stuff, look up the trailer for Mad Heidi, give it a watch. I'm pretty confident. Last I checked, you can only buy this on Raven Banner's website. Just take a look at it. It's some zany crap. It's fun. Next up, TV time. I am now in season 2 of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Oh, wait, it's not Ash vs. The Evil Dead. Why to take the "the" out? We need "the" back. It's weird. We need The Evil Dead. Is there a The Evil Dead on the movies? Or are they just Evil Dead and I'm just hallucinating? I might be hallucinating. If I am, that's okay. I think I'm about 4 episodes into season 2 now. Ash vs. Evil Dead is a TV series. It's not what I'm particularly enjoying at all. I like looking at Lucy Lawless. I still say this is probably the best I've ever seen her look. It doesn't have good production values. It doesn't take itself seriously, nor would I expect it to. I'm still confused at this point what this is a sequel of, because up until a recent episode in season 2, there was nothing from Army of Darkness ever mentioned, so I figured it disregarded it. But if I'm not mistaken, I got through like a montage of clips. I think we saw an opening for Army of Darkness where Ash and his car end up in the Middle Ages, although how he gets that back, I don't know. When he returns, I don't recall him taking it back with him to the present when he gets returned. And then you got the whole Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 thing, right? So Evil Dead 2 is not a sequel to Evil Dead. So, having not recently rewatched either of them, I'm not sure which of those two films is picking up on. I'm assuming it's Evil Dead 2, just because it's the end of Evil Dead 2 that transports Ash into the past, and then from the past back to the present. That doesn't happen at the end of Evil Dead, so, like I said, I'm assuming, and it talked about killing his friends. Were his friends with him in the second film, or was it just him and his girlfriend? I should have watched the movies again before watching the show, but I just didn't want to. It's Evil Dead versus Ash. Ash versus Evil Dead. The Lucy Lawless hot show. Okay. Next. And lastly, Season 1, Person of Interest. I am 2 episodes shy of finishing Season 1. It's 23 episodes, so I've done 21 now at this point. I am loving this show. How the narrative in this is becoming increasingly intertwined, past and present. This intricate web of woven plots and twists and turns, and trying to get so engaged you're predicting things and speculating about things, and loving the character dynamics and the slight incremental character arcs and progressions and the growing relationships, and just I am really enjoying this one. This is I'm sorry to say I put it off for so long. The 2 times I attempted to try to watch it previous, wasn't able to get into it because I'm definitely engrossed now. That's it for the physical. Are we blurry? We're a little blurry. We're de-blurried. Okay, so part of the reason for the smallish stack, we had a theatrical week this week. This is not a frequent thing for me, but it's also not an infrequent thing for me. So, starting Tuesday, July 1st at 7:30 p.m., we had a one-show-only re-release of Batman Begins, which was the only film in the trilogy I didn't see in the theater when it originally came out. Ironically, it's the only film in the trilogy I actually truly enjoy. It's good to see it in the theater. I wish it would have been a better theater. Blurry, no blurry. Had a good time with it. Didn't exactly have a great crowd in the theater, unfortunately. A couple people decided it was a good idea to go to the theater and sit there and discuss Batman lore throughout not only the entire movie, but a good 20 minutes before it started. Through all the trailers, that's like some dumb rage. Next up, Thursday the 3rd, 9:55 a.m. I love me early show times. We have less people in the theaters, sometimes no people in the theater, and it's cheaper. So yay. Even the popcorn is cheaper first thing in the morning, believe it or not, in my theater. They're still using this cheap quality receipt paper, which they're telling me is probably going to be a permanent thing to save money. We have, focus, let me see if we can read that. Okay, let's see if we can read that. Here, let's do this. There we go. Mithrigan 2.0. I was incredibly hesitant to watch this film. Trailer-wise, focus, I was very much concerned. It was a complete tonal shift from the first film. Didn't seem like it was going to work as a sequel. It was PG-13. Had all these red flags for being a follow-up. I very much enjoyed Mithrigan 2.0. I did. I laughed a lot. It was fun. That's really all I needed. I heard it mentioned that embracing my original perspective, like there's just no way this isn't going to work. This is like almost a not slapstick. It's just a comedic action film turning what was a homicidal killer robot into a quirky, snippy ally that's going to take on another bad guy, right? And it's like, when has that ever happened? It's not going to work. And then somebody's like, well, Terminator 2, right? Same thing. I was like, I say, no, it wasn't, because I will also say, and controversial hot take, you can hate me all you want for this, Terminator 2 doesn't really work as a sequel to Terminator. It does not. I won't say Terminator 2 is a bad movie. Not at all. I quite enjoy it. I don't like it as much as the Terminator, which I know is also a minority opinion. But on its own as a standalone film, it's perfectly fine. It does not really work as a sequel, not just because of the tonal shift. It is a tremendous departure from the first film. The first film is basically a horror film. Same thing with Mithrigan. The sequel is a more comedic action film with some ties to the original. But you get a tonal shift, an atmospheric shift. And in the case of Terminator 2, you even get some lore shifting, which has always bothered me since my very first viewing of that in the theater was in 1991 when it came out. Rant over. Next up, Thursday, same day, at 1:25 p.m. I went in after a change of mind. So 2 open-minded viewings for the same day after initial rejections. 28 years later, I saw. And although a flawed movie in its own right, I did enjoy it. I found myself either dropping my jaw, or scratching my head, or shaking my head at some of the creative choices that were made in the film narratively. A lot of things didn't work for me, but you know, we don't get perfection in the movie theater very often anyway, so I'm not asking for it, but I was entertained. A lot of people have asked, well, you know, should I watch the original film or the first and second film before I watch this? It's never a bad idea, but this is a film you could actually completely go in blind without any concern. I have seen the original 2 films when they were new, and only one time each. I remember zero, and I mean absolutely zero, about those films. I remember Cillian Murphy's in the first one. I don't know if he's in the second one or not. I no memory at all. And because the Blu-rays have been out of print on those for years, I wasn't able to go and pick up copies and rewatch them prior, just to even see if I wanted to. And that was my initial hesitation. I was like, I don't want to watch 28 years later because I don't remember anything about the first 2 films. I don't have access to them. A friend of mine wanted to go see it anyway, and she reported back. She said, no, this is a completely standalone thing. You don't even have to have any background at all. And yeah, she was right. I went and checked it out. So good times. Lastly, Friday at 1:25 p.m., I was able to get off work early for the 4th of July and get a ticket to go see focus F1, Brad Pitt's new film, repairing, was it Joseph Kozlowski and Jerry Bruckheimer and Hans Zimmer, from all 3 from Top Gun Maverick fame, grabbing Brad Pitt, bringing him in, say, can we Top Gun Maverick Brad Pitt for a second? And as a whole, they were able to. I would say that was a pretty successful film, flaws and all. I found it to be a really good time. Long, probably a lot longer than it needed to be, somewhere in like 2.5 hours. Hi, Sugar. You want to say hi to the people? Come here. Come here. Oh, come here. Come here. Ah, kitty, kitty. Wee. Wee. Hi, kitty. Huh? Where you here to go? You smell like your litter box. Were you running around in the sand again? Okay, here's the bite. Here's the bite. Doink. Likewise, as with Batman Begins, there was a couple on the opposite side of the road for me, and I don't know if it was so much the husband, but I could hear the wife commenting throughout. I don't know why it is that people have forgotten how to watch movies in movie theaters. You know, it's not your living room, people. You want to watch movies at home in your living room and talk throughout it with each other? By all means, do so. You're paying money to go sit in a movie theater and watch a movie. And guess what? All those people around you, so are they. They are not paying to listen to you guys have a conversation, to critique the film, to comment on the film, to discuss lore. Hey, Sugar, would you? Buddy, you know better. You don't surprise her like that. She always responds. I thank you for being so calm, though. Hope she didn't scratch you. Where you at, buddy? Poor buddy. He just wants to be friends. He wants to play. Sugar's not comfortable around him at all like she used to be. He approaches when she doesn't want him to. That's the result. She hisses, she bats at him, and then she runs away. Buddy, he's a very mellow guy. He just kind of tolerates it 99.9% of the time. Someday he may not. Right, buddy? Good boy. Can I have a hug? Can I have a hug? No? You mad at me? I didn't do anything. Good boy. Oh, yes. Oh, he's a sweet boy. Yes. We got to take him back to the vet this coming week because his leg injury or whatever that caused me to take him in February has flared back up. You can see a little bit of blood right there in his leg. It was all swollen. He was limping when I brought him in. Couldn't put any weight on it. Antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, immobilized it. It healed. It went away. Then in April, it swelled up again. It ruptured, blood, hair loss around it, went abscessed. Treated it, kept it clean. It healed up, fur grew back, everything was good. And then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, swelled back up. Yesterday afternoon, started bleeding again. Pressure went down, fortunately, because of that. But we're still concerned. We don't want him to be in pain or discomfort, huh? No, we don't. Well, we want Buddy to be happy, boy. Huh? Yeah, we took you off the street. Now we want you to live happy and healthy. Can you hug now? Oh, why not? Make me sad. I get all kinds of hugs and affection from him, but maybe he's camera shy. Anyway, that's that. Stop talking in the theater, people. It's not your living room. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tolerating. As always, what did you see this past week in a theater, at home, in your library, of your sanctuary of your living room? What did you watch? Let me know. Redbox. Use it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Alan.